Title reps, if you want to grow your business this year, you've got to start doing these three things. I'm Sarah with Texas Title Girl. Thanks for joining me. And in this video today, we're going to talk about the things that title reps need to start doing in order to increase their visibility, get more eyes on their brand, and more importantly, get more leads so that they can convert and get more business. So, three things you need to do in order to really make it in this business. One, you got to know the problems of your ideal client. And in most cases, that's a realtor and lender. So you really got to do some social listening and find out what are their pain points. I know for sure that in general, most of your agents that you're looking to connect with have some sort of pain point associated with marketing. That's the big umbrella. I'm just going to call it marketing. And then under that umbrella, you've got sub pain points, if you will. You've got social media, you've got branding, marketing campaigns. I don't know how to write copy for a newsletter, or I do want to get on video, Sarah, but I'm an agent and I could use some help, and I don't want to spend a ton of money on hiring a videographer or some sort of coach. So if you can find out what the pain points are of your ideal client, then you can start to go in and figure out, of those things, which do I want to become the expert on? And of those things, which do I want to be the solution to? I wouldn't suggest that you try to become the master of all, because then you'll become the master of none. But I can tell you right now, a lot of your agents are going to say, Google business profile, help, help, help. What is it? How do I optimize it? How should I be using it? Go become the expert on that. Social media in general. So I would take a platform like maybe Instagram, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such an underutilized resource in our industry specifically. Agents don't know how to leverage it. They don't know what they should be doing with it. Get online, become an expert at it so that you can offer that as a resource to your agents when you go into their brokerages, when you meet with them, when you have lunch with them or coffee with them. So if you are someone who can really provide a roadmap for that for your agents, it's going to be very enticing for them. They're going to start to see you as a resource. And here's what happens when that occurs. When you have a resource available to you, especially when it's free or very accessible, you're going to access it often. And that's the point. You want your agents reaching out to you often saying, Sarah, I need your help. Sarah, what are your thoughts on this? Sarah, how do I post XYZ on social media? Any reason that you can provide that they all of a sudden need you is a huge value add. The point is, they've reached out to me, they've seen me as someone who can help them, and then I get them the answers one way or another. So that's the one thing that title reps have got to start doing in their industry, is figuring out how to become the solution to certain problems that your ideal client is having on a daily or ongoing basis. In this second one, I should probably say stop doing this now instead of start doing this. I got into this business and I had a coach tell me, lose as many friends as possible. So if you're a realtor watching this, please don't take offense to that. That was my coach saying, do not friend zone yourself. And agents, if you're watching this, although this video is for title reps, you know what I'm talking about, because sometimes people in your own SOI, your sphere of influence, don't use you because they only see you as a friend or a family member. They have a hard time cutting ties and differentiating between you as the agent and you as the neighbor or friend or family member. And it can be the same way in our business. So as a title rep, if you're walking into offices all the time and bringing trinkets and treasures and trying to befriend them in hopes that they'll give you business, it can actually hurt you in the long run. I'm not saying to cut yourself off from the opportunity of making friends. You can make wonderful and amazing friends in this business. I'm thinking of several right now who I hold near and dear to my heart. But I tried in the beginning to walk a very fine line and to always go in with a business first mentality. I wanted to be able to be seen as professional. I did not want to get friend zoned. And I did not want to blur those lines of, well, you're my friend, and so now you feel obligated to send me business, which I hear a lot. That's a common objection I get when I say, why are you using this title company? What do you seem to like most about them? They'll go, oh, well, the rep is like one of my best friends. Oh, okay. And I have some, responses that I give to that. And there's nothing wrong with doing business with friends. But you all know that sometimes that friendship first, or I'm going to try to befriend them first, can wind up hurting you in the end. So how do you do it differently? You might be watching this saying, okay, fine. I don't want to be their friends here. You're telling me not to be their friend at first, or to try to manipulate them into giving me business by befriending them. So what do I do instead? Refer to number one, which I already said, add value. Lead with value, start with value, go in and do not make any mistake. Make sure everybody knows why you're there and what you're looking to accomplish. You want to add value because your goal at the end of the day is to earn the opportunity to work with them. Do not be shy about that. Do not try to catfish or gaslight anybody into believing differently. In fact, I would say that most agents are going to respect you if you do it in a polite and professional way. And you say, listen, I don't want to make anybody think anything different about why I'm here. I'm here to earn your business. But I'm going to do that through adding value and by being professional. And what I always like to say, pleasantly present and persistent with your permission. So lead with value and be very, very careful about getting into that friend zone too early, too fast, and then trying to figure out how to get out of it can be a real journey. And sometimes you can't ever get out of it. The third thing that you've got to start doing if you're a title rep is asking for the business. I think most of us who are in sales could say at one time or another, or even still in this moment, we don't ask for the business often enough, either because we're scared, we're intimidated, we don't feel like we deserve to ask, or we just simply don't know how. And I'm here to help you with that. Reach out to me if you're like, Sarah, I need some scripts. I need some ways to not only ask for the business in a professional way, but then I need to know how to overcome any objections that I might get when an agent pushes back or hesitates. And then I need a follow-up game because it's not just about asking for the business, it's about following up. But you got to ask for the business at the right time and in the right way. And you have to be brave enough to do it, knowing that that's essentially your job. That's why you've been hired by your title company, is to go out and ask for the business. So I've never understood 5 years in how agents can meet with title reps and a title rep will take them to happy hour or a lunch or a basketball game or whatever it is. And then they all hug and high five and go on their way. If I were an agent, I would be like, what was that about? You want to let them know, hey, it is my goal. It is my goal to work with you. And I'm going to figure out a way to make that happen. But I think most of us as title reps walk around going, I can't do that. That feels too forward. I don't want to be salesy. What are you doing? You're in sales. I had an agent tell me one time, I'm not in sales. I don't like it when people say, I'm in sales. And I was like, oh, okay. You are in the business of building relationships. That's very true. But you are also in the business of sales. So anyway, whatever. I want you as a title rep to start thinking of yourself as a salesperson who leads with value, solves the problems of others, and isn't afraid to ask for the business of those that you really are looking to work with. So that leads me to my next point, which is really, okay, if I'm going to ask for the business, do I just ask everyone? And the answer is yes and no. Let me explain. We know that sales in some cases is a numbers game. The more people you're in front of, the more conversations you have, the more leads you generate, and then you nurture those leads, and eventually some of those leads will convert. But what I also did in the beginning, and I still have to be careful of this sometimes, is I found myself chasing every lead. I didn't really know how to qualify a lead. I didn't know how to put leads into certain funnels or categories to be able to say, this is someone really worth going after right now, and I need a game plan for that person that I'm looking to gain their business. Here's a column for people that are definitely worth going after, and I need a game plan for that. And then here's my third or even fourth column. Agents do that with their clients. They've got their VIPs and their warm leads and their leads that have gone cold and their leads that they need to nurture. So why wouldn't we do the same thing? We've got to be organized with our business. So yes, you're going to be asking for the business from just about everyone you meet, but it's not always on the first meeting. It's not always in the same way. And when I say it's not always on the first meeting, don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying you should just like court somebody for 3, 4, 5 meetings or months and never ask for the business. I'm saying you've got to be smart and you've got to have a strategy. Who are the producers? Who are the movers and shakers? Not just who's selling the most product, but are they selling the product that I want or need? It depends on what market you're in. Do your buyers direct for title? Do your sellers direct? What conversation should you be having with people in the front office if you're trying to get in and maybe it's a closed office? You got to have a strategy. You got to be targeted. And then last but not least, you got to show up all the time. That's why you've heard me say before, and I'll say it again, I'm going to stay pleasantly present and persistent with your permission. I'm going to show up. I already know they don't really want me there. They're not looking in the beginning to just let a title rep hang out, because a lot of title reps walk in without a purpose. They pass out their clicky pins. They don't really have any value to add, and they're almost kind of in a way and interrupting. Agents go into the office, a lot of them, if they're movers and shakers, to get business done. They don't want some title rep walking in off the street and just wanting to shoot the breeze for 5 minutes when they've got a deal blowing up, or they came in to dot a bunch of I's and cross T's. If you're going to go in there, I would say you always go in with a purpose and a plan and a strategy. You have targeted conversations, and then you get out. Go in as often as that office will let you. I can't tell you how many times I've walked through and picked up appointments or even contracts because I was consistent and my cadence was such that I was in there enough to where people started to recognize me. And when I walk through, they go, "Ooh, Sarah, can I grab you for a minute? I have a question about X." Okay. So if I can help with any of those things, reach out to me. The 3 things you've got to be concentrating on: adding value, being careful about getting yourself friend zoned, and then having a strategy for following up with the right kind of people at the right time and in the right place. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.